Today we're going to be going over some fantastic, affordable fragrance clones for the summer season 2024. So a lot of these are going to be alternatives to much more expensive designer niche fragrances, and maybe a couple of these are clones of some discontinued fragrances that you can no longer buy the originals of. So these clones really come in handy for things like that. So whether you're trying to save money or to try to get your nose on things that no longer exist, you're going to find some value here. Now with clones and clone brands, things like that, you can't walk into department stores and purchase these. You got to shop online. I will link all of them down below. That way you can pick them up if you're interested. A lot of times these clones are pretty popular and they sell out quickly and they can be hard to find. So you can also jump on my mailing list and texting list at the link and number down below. And anytime, the in-demand, popular clones restock, I send out notifications along with new designer releases hitting discounters and rare stuff popping up as well. Starting off at number 10, we have AROF Club de Nuit Iconic. This to me is kind of like a Bleu de Chanel twist, essentially. It's kind of like a hybrid clone. It's not honing in on one thing in particular like some of these others are. Instead, it's kind of doing one big sweep and kind of going after a genre style of scent, like the Bleu de Chanel style of scent, and just incorporating some other aspects as well to give it a little bit more variety. Now this is still one of the newer AROF releases, and it's a really good one. You can tell when you compare this to some of their older clones that they've put out years ago, the quality has gotten better. It's not a substantial improvement, but they have refined their style a little bit over time. And that's also prominent with some of the other Aventus clone flankers that they've done as well. Like a couple of the Parfum Club de Nuit Intense Man scents are really, really good. The bottles, of course, are staying the same. They've been using this style forever. This is kind of the AROF signature bottle. But this stuff smells great. Blue fragrance inspired, kind of a bit of Bleu de Chanel going on here, grapefruit, woods, incense, birch, all of that stuff, and vetiver as well. Really nice, versatile, compliment pulling summer scent. You can wear it in spring as well. When it's warm outside, this one will do great. Next up, we have Maison Alhambra, Eau de Parfum. So this one here, no surprise, is a YSL Eau de Parfum clone. And some of these will kind of go after the bottle itself, and this is one of them. And just because the bottle may look similar, that doesn't always mean, that it's going to be a super accurate clone, So sometimes you still have to go into it and keep your expectations to, a realistic standard. But I will say with this one, it is a very, very solid Eau de Parfum alternative for an affordable price. I saw where they recently came out with a Parfum, which I could only imagine to be a clone of Le Parfum. I don't have that one yet. I do have this Eau de Parfum, which is really good. It's a $20 to $25 scent, whereas the real one is up over $100, even on discounters most of the time. So it's a great option for you if you want to save some money, and it works great in summertime too if you have a little bit of a tolerance for a sweet scent. Got to go for an Aventus clone up next. For me, I love Creed Aventus in the summertime when it's warm outside. That DNA really comes to life. The fruits, the citruses, some of the woods even just really blend together and smell amazing with some heat on it. This one is L'Aventure Intense, or Intense. I didn't know if it was Intense or L'Intense, but it's Intense. And this is, of course, Al Haramain. And the original has been around for a long time now, but this Parfum Intense, to me, is substantially better. And as I said before, there are so many Creed Aventus clones to choose from that it's insane. So you can take your pick. This one is one of the better performing ones, still maintaining an affordable price. You can get down the rabbit hole and get more expensive, and typically when you're spending more on the clones, you are getting a higher quality product in return. But this one has a really nice balance and strikes a really good middle ground of still being affordable, but also having great quality performance and everything like that, and still being very accurate. So number 8, L'Aventure Intense. If you want a beast mode Aventus clone for summertime, this is one to consider. Number 7, we have Lattafa Mahir Legacy. So we're looking at a Parfums de Marly Sedley clone, and I love Sedley. It's one of my favorite summer offerings from them. I would say it's going to be between that and Greenly. They're kind of tied up. You know, Sedley still is in the lead for me, but they can go either way, and I like to wear both of them pretty frequently when it's warm outside. Sedley is a little bit more blue fragrance inspired. However, it doesn't smell like anything in particular. It kind of does its own thing. It's minty, green, refreshing, and uplifting. And these days, Parfums de Marly's are not getting any more obtainable. You know, they used to be in stock on discounters for below retail often. No longer is that the case. A lot of times they're sold out on discounters, and if they do have them, they're pretty close to retail or not discounted all that much. Typically, you know, on a good day, you could expect to pay around $185, $190, maybe $200 for a 125 ml PDM like Sedley, Leighton, etc. But that's not as common anymore. But this one here coming in at, I think it's $37 to $40 for this clone. Very affordable, especially compared to the real one. And even just these days in general, anything under $50 for a men's fragrance is pretty competitive and definitely becoming kind of more so the new cheap. Whereas back in the day, you know, cheap was pretty consistently $20 to $25 all day long. And there's still plenty of those out there, but it isn't becoming as common as it once was. Things are definitely getting more expensive as time goes on, but this is a great, great summer offering. At number 6, we have Fragrance World Imperium, and this is going to be a Roja Elysium clone. You could probably, you know, come to that conclusion just by looking at the bottle, or at least you would assume that that's what it is, and it is. So I remember seeing this one online first and getting really excited about it, just looking at the bottle, and even the name is somewhat similar. I was really hoping that it was going to be what I thought it was going to be, and not only that, but be a pretty good quality clone, and it does check all of those boxes. It is a really good, affordable alternative. $30 as well, somewhere around in there, and it really nails that signature Elysium smell perfectly. The vetiver, the citruses, some of the sweet fruits, the ambroxan, all of that stuff, but especially the vetiver. You know, for me, that is what makes Elysium what it is. That very specific signature vetiver accord that they use, they're also utilizing that here, and it is very, very close. Elysium is one of my all-time favorite summer scents. It's a little bit more expensive, you know, on discounters, like $220 or so for the Parfum Cologne 100 ml. I think it retails for like $290, so pretty good savings there on discounters, but it's still expensive, and not everybody is wanting to spend that much money, so that's where this one comes in. You really can't go wrong with it. Breaking into the top 5, we have LFA Sakrat, which is an eau de parfum, and this is a clone of Acqua di Gio Profumo, Acqua di Gio Parfum, which is a little bit more relevant now. So you guys know the drill behind that one at this point. The Parfum is the replacement of Profumo, but they are very, very close. Just about identical, with a few minor tweaks that most people probably wouldn't even notice, even if you had them side by side. I've spent so much time and had Acqua di Gio Profumo on my skin for such a long period of time that I could tell the difference, but a lot of people probably wouldn't. And so this one is a clone of that DNA, the Acqua di Gio with a bit of a smoke and patchouli kind of base. So it's really more of a nighttime oriented scent for me. Summer evenings, date nights, all of that sort of thing. This is what this is all about, and I love everything about it. And Acqua di Gio Parfum, it isn't all that expensive, relatively speaking, compared to its retail price. So it retails for like $190, almost $200. That's expensive for a designer. On discounters though, it's been floating around $120 pretty consistently. Pretty big chunk of savings there, and that's not all that bad. However, this one still comes in at under $40, and it's a great way to save money and to use the rest of those funds to get many other scents in your collection if you wanted to. Number 4, we have Maison Alhambra Alpine Homme Sport. So another one where the bottle kind of does the talking here. It's a Chanel Allure Homme Sport clone, and a really good one at that. Now I understand, guys, there are other things out there that will do this, okay? So there's Versace Pour Homme, there's Missoni Wave. They kind of do that. Now Missoni Wave combines Chanel Allure Homme Sport and Versace Pour Homme. Freshness, sweetness, it combines them. Versace Pour Homme, mostly bright. Chanel Allure Homme Sport, somewhat bright with the aldehydes, but sweeter and more powdery from the tonka and orange and that sort of thing. So this one is straight up cloning the Chanel. It doesn't have the same amount of brightness as the Versace, and it doesn't combine them both like Missoni Wave. So that's kind of where, you know, they differ. If you were looking strictly for a clone of Chanel Allure Homme Sport, you're going to want something like this. If you already have a Missoni Wave or something like that, then you might not necessarily feel that this is something you would need or want. Same thing even if you already have Versace Pour Homme, you may not really want this, okay? But if you do want a clone of the Chanel, this is what you would go for. And it works so good in summertime. It's a perfect signature scent. And this here, coming in at more of a clone price, under 40 bucks, it's easy to wear as a signature scent, and it's not going to break the bank. At number 3, we have Araf Trui, and this is a green Irish tweed clone. And I love green Irish tweed. Most people think of it as a spring scent, and it definitely is. Green, obviously, is the name of the game with that one, and it stands true to that name. But also, it is so phenomenal to wear in the summer heat as well. Nothing wrong with doing that. It works great during that time of year. And so, again, Creed pricing is still expensive on discounters. It's come down over the years, but it's still pricey. This is one you can get for like $20 to $25 on pretty much all of the major discounters at this point. It's been out for a long time, and it is a great clone. You're getting that lemon verbena, the ambergris, just some of the other green notes and aromatics and everything like that that you would expect from green Irish tweed. It's coming through here, and it smells so good. It's a good performer as well. Not that GIT is necessarily beast mode on its own, but this one holds its own, especially for a $20 to $25 scent. You really can't go wrong with it. It's a popular choice for sure, but a really good one at that. And also, I will say this too, in my opinion, this is 20 times better than Davidoff Cool Water, EDT. My opinion is to ditch that one and get something like this. Infinitely better. At number 2, we have Rasi It's Essential for men. So it's an eau de parfum. It's a YSL L'Homme Ultime clone, and L'Homme Ultime is a fantastic ginger, citrusy scent. Very gentlemanly, very masculine, and more so traditional. That one has been gone for a while. It's been discontinued. However, it is incredible, and it's one of the more noteworthy YSL L'Homme releases, at least in my opinion. And I'm not the only one that thinks that. There was kind of a bit of a cult following that was starting to develop around YSL L'Homme Ultime. People swear by the stuff, the ginger, the rose, the citrus, and again, I'm one of those people as well. I think that combination of notes works incredibly well. But as I had mentioned, you can no longer buy that anymore unless you want to pay outrageous prices on eBay, and then you run the risk of getting a fake, and you just run the risk and the silliness of just way overpaying for it. So you can get this right here, which is a clone of that, for, again, $20 to $30. You get that ginger rose citrus combo down really well with this one. It's an eau de parfum. It's a really respectable performer, and for summertime, this stuff is great. Another one that's more upscale, classy would be great for summer evenings, but could work during the summer daytime as well, especially if you have like a more dressed up job occupation, you know, and you're really kind of getting away from the casual wear stuff. This would be a great one to go for. At number 1, we have Pandora Scents Amarist, which is a Bulgari Aqua Amara clone. And that one got a ton of hype back in the day and got discontinued, no surprise. Can't find it anymore, at least for decent pricing. But this stuff here is so good, and it's so close. I've already covered this one in a few other videos as well, but absolutely love this DNA. That orange, seaweed, oceanic smell. It's strong, it's powerful, it's rich, it's addicting, and it's, again, one of the more unique aquatic summer scents out there. Not for everybody, you know, this one is a bit different, but it really is something that just stands out and smells great. Again, you're looking at $30, maybe $40 for this one. Price will probably creep down a little bit more as time goes on, but it is a fantastic summer scent that I can't recommend enough. All right, you guys, that's gonna do it for me. Some fantastic fragrance clones for the summer season. These work great in the high heat, so make sure you pick them up and check them out for this summer. Make some great memories with these. I'll link them down below, and again, if you want to be notified when rare, discontinued, hard to find fragrances come in stock, or when these clones restock, or when new designer releases come in below retail, jump on my mailing list and texting list, and you won't regret it, and you won't miss out on anything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.